up, guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. If you are new here, hey, what's up? My name's Dani, and today I'm going on a date, and I figured I would take you through the entire get ready with me process. I recently watched one of Brooke Mitchell's videos where she did this, and I thought it was super fun, so I went on Instagram and asked you guys to ask me some questions, and we're just gonna hang out for the night. The first step to having a successful date is eating something beforehand, because before I leave the house, I always have like a pre-date drink just to get myself ready, and obviously once we get there, we order drinks, and I don't want to be doing any of that on an empty stomach. And this is why I keep lots and lots of frozen meals from Trader Joe's in the freezer, so we can do this really quickly. I ate a little bit of dinner and I let my hair air dry for a little bit before blow drying it. I always just use the Revlon blow dryer, the circle one, to get a little bit more of a salon look, especially because my hair is more naturally wavy slash curly. I like to tame it a little bit, and since it is July in New York City, more often than not, it is very, very humid, especially at night, so I always like to put in a little bit of hair oil. This one is from Garnier Fructis, and it's just supposed to manage frizz a little bit better. That'll be good, especially because the restaurant that we're going to is outside, so the likelihood of my hair getting frizzy is very high.
Do you know your YouTube?
No, we never talked about it on the last date.
Interesting.
I know. I feel like it's gonna come up tonight.
Yeah.
Which means he could actually be watching this right now. Everybody say hi. Hey! Actually, what Amanda was just saying reminded me of a question that one of you asked me, and it is, do I normally get good or bad reactions when I tell guys that I do YouTube? I've actually heard a lot of horror stories from other YouTubers on this platform that when they tell guys that they do YouTube, whether it's for a living or just as a side hustle, guys kind of get really turned off by it, and I've never had that experience, thankfully. I mean, listen, I'm saying this now and I could have a terrible experience tonight, I don't really know, but as up until this point right now, I've only had really, really enthusiastic reactions to it. Of course, there's always the classic questions like, oh, can you vlog me? Like, can I be in your videos? Which the answer is always no. But I do like when guys are enthusiastic about it because it's such a big part of my life. And you guys are such a big part of my life that if they don't like what I do, I kind of just don't like them.
What are your biggest red flags in a guy?
In a guy that I just met, I think one of my biggest red flags is if they're rude to waitstaff. Like if we're going to get drinks or we're going to get dinner, if they cut off the waitstaff when they're trying to speak or anything like that, I instantly notice and I make a note of it in my head because it's incredibly unattractive, honestly. I think a guy who doesn't ask any questions is also not very attractive to me. It's probably because I personally make an effort every time I go on a date to ask a lot of really interesting questions because I think it leads to more interesting conversation, and when I feel like I'm just the only one asking questions, I get instantly turned off.
Do you get nervous before dates?
Like, I mean, you can tell me, I don't think I get that nervous.
I mean, you don't come off as nervous.
No, I think before I head over, what I always say, and I mean this very loosely, but I almost start to like disassociate, where like I don't even really think about the fact that I'm going on a date. I just feel like I'm going through the motions of my evening until I get in front of the person that I'm going on a date with. And then once I'm there, I think all of my nervous energy comes off as just me being incredibly chatty. Like when I get nervous, I just don't stop talking until somebody tells me to shut the fuck up. That is normally what ends up happening on all my dates, which is another big indicator for me if a guy is going to work out in the long run or even is worth a second date. If they seem to be getting annoyed by the fact that I talk a lot, it's not gonna work because that just doesn't really go away.
Best flirting technique?
I kind of want you to answer these questions too because I feel like that'd be fun. My flirting technique, I think I do most of my flirting when I'm intoxicated, and that works out in my favor. Am I wrong though?
When I'm under the influence.
When I'm under the influence is normally when I'm doing the bulk of my, flirting. And once I have alcohol in me, I'm very bold in the sense where like this guy, for example, that I'm going on a date, I'm really just putting him on blast, but it's fine. This guy that I'm going on a date with tonight, I literally met him in a bar and I had a few drinks and I just walked right up to him. He was like in the middle of a conversation with his friend and I was like, hey, and he was like, hi. I'd never met him before in my life, and I just kind of started up a conversation with him out of nowhere. That's how I am when I drink. When I'm sober, it's probably toned down a little bit more, but kind of along the same lines, honestly. I kind of just go for it, because if they don't like you, the worst thing that's gonna happen is they're either gonna lie and say that they have a girlfriend, or they're gonna straight up say that they're not interested, both of which are fine, and then you move on.
This isn't on here, but I want to know your worst date ever, because I want to hear this story again.
I feel like I might have said this story in a past video, but it was a while ago, because this date happened a really long time ago. I went on a date with a guy. Let's call him, what should we call him? We'll call him Marcus, okay? I went on a date with this guy named Marcus. I met him at a house party in college, like randomly. I had really never paid any mind to this boy at all, but he was very, very forward, which is something that I really need in a guy. And he, right when he met me, was like, I want to take you out to dinner. And I was like, okay, who am I to say no? I went on this date. Do I say what happened when I got in the car?
Yes,
oh, really?
That's the best part.
Okay, so he picked me up from my dorm, and right when I got in his car, I was expecting to like go in for the hug, and right away he just kissed me, and I was like, hello? Like, I literally just was so taken back, because it wasn't just like a kiss, like he went in, and I was like, what the hell, sir? I just met you. And then by the time we got to the restaurant, we really didn't have much to talk about, and by the time we were leaving, after getting full meals and drinks for both of us, the check comes, and of course I offer to pay. He says no, and he puts in a $20 bill and then closes the checkbook and says, okay, let's go. And I was like, wait, what? Like $20? And he was like, yeah, let's go. And then I just like was so confused. I was like, okay. So I got up and we kind of ran to his car, and I was so confused. I get home to my roommates, Madeline in particular, and we just start debriefing about the entire night, and I'm like, guys, I really don't think he paid for the bill. So we called the restaurant to find out if he paid for the bill, and turns out, I think what did they say? He did, but he didn't tip.
Let's go back to the red flag question.
Oh, that's true. Another red flag, if they don't tip. Just why?
Literally. What is your ideal guy?
Are we talking looks or personality?
Both. Just like your ideal guy.
Okay, so essentially my type. Like, what is my type?
Not the guys you get with.
No, but my type.
type.
Okay, a little different. So, I always say that my type is, like, to put it bluntly, I guess, like tall, dark, and handsome. But there's wiggle room in all of those words, where like they don't have to be too tall, they don't have to be too dark, and they don't have to be too handsome. I really, really like guys who are tan, dark hair for sure. I've never really been into blondes, and light eyes. Like if you have blue eyes or green eyes and dark hair, it's like, whoa, game changer. And then personality wise, I'm an extrovert, so I feel like I should also be with an extrovert, but for whatever reason I keep on finding myself attracted to introverts. So I can't really say that one with too much confidence, but those are kind of the first few things that come to mind.
How to not feel like you want to throw up before a first date?
I'm a very big advocate for having a pre-date drink, like I mentioned. Of course, make sure that you're eating before so you don't get too drunk too early on. But I do think that having like, I don't know, a glass of wine or a shot if you're feeling crazy before you leave for a date is good, especially if it's like the first, second date, because obviously you're still gonna be nervous around this person. Other than that, I think just realize that if it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world, especially if you live in a really big city like I do in New York. If you never want to see somebody again, or something embarrassing happens or whatever, and you just hope to never have to see this person again, odds are you don't have to.
Okay, this is a question that I just thought of.
Oh, go for it.
What is your go-to drink on a date? Like, do you gravitate towards wine, which I should do next time?
Ordering a glass of white wine is something that I normally turn to because it's easy to order, and odds are I'm gonna like it as long as I don't get anything too fancy. If I want a cocktail, always something with tequila, a margarita, I don't know, really anything like that.
Do you think it's bad to hook up on a first date? What do we mean by hookup?
Yeah, what do we mean by hookup, first of all? Because I feel like everybody has different definitions of that phrase. If your definition, actually, regardless of what your definition is, I don't think it's bad. I think you should do whatever you want to do, because at the end of the day, it's your life. For me personally, if it's like we're talking hookup in the sense of like make out, then no, I don't think that's bad at all. In terms of like going home with somebody, it isn't personally something I would do, but I don't know, to each their own.
What has been the biggest adjustment since moving into the city?
That's a really, really good question.
Yeah, that is. It's very like
introspective.
Think about it.
Yeah, I've always been the type of person, as of like the last few years, I think, where I haven't really had issues spending time alone. But I think alone time in the city is very different because it feels a bit more isolating than it does being alone in like your hometown and your family home. Because you're in such a big city, you know that if you're home alone on a Friday, it's not like there's nothing that you could be doing. There are plenty of things that you could be doing. So I think it's just the difference in what alone time feels like.
How do you maintain a work-life balance?
I think it's really hard because I think a work-life balance in New York City can go both ways. It can either go where work becomes your entire life and you forget to have fun, or you start having too much fun and you forget to work. So I think it's good to have designated days where you have things to look forward to. So for example, we've been doing these things called our bi-weekly meetings on Thursdays after work, where we go to a different restaurant and we get drinks and some food, and it's a lot of fun because it gives us that one thing to look forward to. But it can even be things that don't require spending money, like watching The Bachelor on Mondays or anything like that. Just making sure that you have things to look forward to after your workday is done will help you focus on the things that you need to focus on from 9 to 5, but then also be able to like have a life outside of those hours.
At what age would you like to have kids?
Oh God. It's crazy because as I get older, I think the age gets higher. Same with getting married. Like, it's crazy to think that my mom and my dad at my age right now already knew each other. And my mom was married really, really young, and she didn't have me that young, but still, it was definitely in her 20s. At this point, I don't know if I can see myself getting married until I'm like 28, 29, but honestly, who knows? That could change in like 2 years and I could be saying, like, now, life's weird like that.
How's the city life treating ya?
City life is treating me well. I'm happy. I'm definitely liking it a lot more than I thought I would, and I already knew I was gonna like it a lot, which I think is a really, really good sign. It's also nice to see that my friend group is expanding and kind of just changing as I think it should post-grad, and I'm really happy with the direction that everything is moving in, so I feel very lucky.
How many drinks does it take you to get drunk?
My tolerance now is different than it was in college. In college, I was probably at the perfect level after like 5-6 shots. Now, my tolerance is a lot lower, and I would say probably 3 or 4 gets me to the perfect level, and I should probably have a water.
Advice for keeping up with your passion/hobbies while working full-time. I cannot speak on this. I have zero passion.
Zero passion. I mean, I think I might have a bit of an unfair advantage when it comes to this, simply because my biggest passion is also a part-time job for me, so it requires me to be very structured with it. But I think even if your passion is, say, dance, for example, then I think you have to schedule it out and prioritize it the same way that you would prioritize work.
Oh my god, okay, can we like switch it up a bit?
Sure.
POV?
POV.
Okay, here we go. My favorite game.
This is a game that Madeline and I play very often. We just give each other a POV and see what we would do.
POV, you show up to the date tonight and the guy brings a friend and doesn't say anything.
I call you and I say, get your ass down here. I have a guy just for you. That's what I say. I honestly,
what if he wasn't my type? Would you still make me Uber to Soho?
I know you wouldn't Uber to Soho if he wasn't hot, so instead I would just be very, very confused.
You go on the date tonight and he does not show up.
He stands me up?
Yeah.
Again, I call you.
We go on White Pages, we look up his apartment,
yes,
and
we egg it. If he stood me up, I would call all of my friends in the city and have somebody come and meet me, and we would get drinks at the same restaurant.
Yeah, that'd be actually fun.
Yeah, it'd be so fun.
You're on a date with this guy, and you're having a great time, and Chase Crawford comes up to the table and is like, do you want to come with me to grab a drink at blah blah blah?
Chase Crawford.
Yeah. And if you didn't go with Chase, you'd never see him again.
I have no obligation to whatever guy I'm on a date with that night.
Just gonna say.
I would absolutely say yes.
I would. How much did? Oh my God, that's your brother. He goes, how much did you pay this dude?
Oh my God. Here is tonight's date outfit. I wore this in my last video, actually, my birthday vlog. I wore this to my birthday dinner with my friends, and I just think it's so cute. I also mentioned in one of my previous videos that I intended on wearing this on a date when I got it. So I'm living up to that, and I just think it's really flattering and it makes me feel good. So I can have a link to this down below, as well as a coupon code if you guys are interested. And if you're curious about what happened to my arm, this is why you have to follow me on Instagram, because I tell all of my stories over on there. Tonight's pre-date drink is going to be wine. I have quite a few bottles that I've yet to open, especially for my birthday a few weekends ago. And this one in particular was a gift from my friend Emily. So we're gonna pop this open, have ourselves a glass, maybe two. No, let's take it to one. My hand is shaking. Am I okay? Remember like 2 seconds ago when I said I don't get nervous? What is my pre-date routine? I get ready, I get dressed, and then I pour myself a glass of wine and I pace in my kitchen until it's time to go.
It was so much fun when we were going on a date together.
I know. Oh my God! I never end up I won't tell them everything, but actually that reminds me, Madeline just mentioned it. The last date that I went on, I walked over to the restaurant with Madeline because she was also going on a date in the same area, and it just so happened that they lined up like that, and it was a lot of fun. So I wish we were doing that tonight. I really do. Bestie goals. But we should honestly try and do that again in the future.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and got to know me a little bit more. I enjoyed filming this even more than I thought I was going to. It made it really fun that Madeline joined in on it with me and was asking all the questions. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, I'd be more than happy to do that for you. But for now, I gotta head out. I just called my Uber, and fingers crossed that this date goes well. I'll talk to you guys very soon in my next video.